I've been animal based for over 2 years now. There's a diet out there that's sort of, a facet of the carnivore diet, coined probably by Ken Berry, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. I've done this about 5 times ish. Why would I do it again? Well, we're going to get into it today. Let's go. Like always, this is Anthony Stewart. This is Food for Thought, and we're questioning everything they've ever said. And this is my N of one, my anecdotal journey into resolving a lot of health issues and sharing my story with people. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I can assure you. I am just a normal guy who was studying to be a nutritionist, but I'm not anymore because I don't agree with any of it, which is very unfortunate. But my journey has led me to question a lot of things. And they say saturated fat leads to high cholesterol, which causes heart disease. All I have to say about that is, what if it doesn't? Now, we can go into the weeds about this. Probably the biggest reason why people stop this or get scared away from this sort of dietary choice. And, it's one of those factors that will not give up easily. It is controlled big time by, mainstream media, the mainstream narrative with doctors and organized corporations. They don't want us being healthy. It's very clear. So you're going to have to take it upon yourself. I'm not telling you to do anything, but this is where I've gotten to in my life, where I have found out about carnivore, started eating meat, started feeling better. Long and short of it, I did beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And why would I do this again? Well, here's the deal. Every time I do it, I learn something. Now, you can take this as a real elimination diet, and everybody's going to be a little different. I tend to not eat factory, you could call factory supermarket pork. I'm now into trying to be as pasture raised as possible if I'm going to eat pork. So bacon for me becomes very tricky. I tend to get good quality pork and then just eat it moderately with my beef, butter, and eggs. So that's my way of doing it. But I'm doing this again because it brings it back to basics. Now, it's very simple. There's not much you need to know. It's basically you eat beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And anything else is a no-go. And I'm doing this for 30 days. I'm going to track all my food. I'll play on my shorts. We'll say what I'm eating today. Generally, I do things with one meal. From a one meal a day perspective, I can eat enough in one meal. So some people can't. And, you focus if you are getting all the nutrition you need and energy you need, and I get that from protein, fat, and the minerals and the vitamins and stuff in the beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, which it's clear that we can survive on it, let alone magical things happen. So when I do this, it's basically me going back to basics. Now, when I go, it's pretty much like 99. I drink coffee. I might give it up for a week or maybe even 30 days. We'll do that challenge soon. But you start to learn how other foods may be affecting you. And I've always said that it's very naive to think that all the foods that we eat, we just assume are good for us, may not be. And how your body's working at your situation in your life could be very different than a lot of other people. Now, I have my bias, obviously. I'm on the fence. I'm on the side of obligate hypercarnivores, meaning, technically 70% of our diet should come from the flesh and associated fat of animals. The rest is kind of gray area. I think there's ways to get nutrition out of plants. I believe there is nutrition in plants, But I also believe that our modern society has greatly disrupted our brain chemistry and our gut situation. So that's where everybody's going to be different. Depending on where you're at in your life, you may need to do things that other people just don't. And certain things may affect you that other people, they just don't. So that's why this is a very, very, it's about the search. The search for me is I feel best eating eating steak and eggs. I know this because I've done this for long enough now that I understand when I do have arguably inflammatory foods, grains and bread and pasta, I don't feel as good. My body tells me, whether it's a little bit of a nagging knee pain or not good sleep. When I do this beef, butter, bacon, and eggs for 30 days, I scale it all back, reevaluate, reassess, and I don't think in absolutes, but I do think this is a way for me to simplify, get the nutrition that I need, and go from there. So after 30 days, I will start reintroducing certain foods back in just to see how it works for me. I even, sometimes eat bad things just to see what it does. And for me, it's an exploration now, especially. But it's always good yes, there's discipline. Is it boring? Well, I don't know if you've seen in my past videos, I have a little meat dance that I do every time I eat steak. This sense of joy comes over me, and that's something to look at. I mean, when you're eating the same food every day, and when you're done, you're finished. But when you're finished, a few hours later, you can't wait to eat it again. There is some natural spiritual phenomenon going on there. And I mean, I think you'll find it with a lot of carnivores and a lot of animal-based people, that I think it's a lot more to do with nutrition and satiety signals. It's just very nourishing, and it's undeniable. Whether you agree with it or not, you can't knock the fact that a lot of people are changing. Now, I want to say a big shout out to JT. I got my Chatting with Carnivores t-shirt on. He's got a great podcast, and anybody that's following me on my channel, I urge you to listen to these people's stories. You go to the Poco Moonshine family. I'll post the description below, and just hear these people that are so passionate and so thankful that they found something that's saving their lives physically, mentally. All sorts of people, different strokes, from different places, different situations, different nuances, are finding this way of doing it. No, they don't all do beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. This is my way of going back to basics and reevaluating my current situation as a carnivore, as a human, what proper nutrition is. And it's an experiment. This is my N of 1. So I'm learning how to do this. And if you want to see real people talking about real things that real people resolve, check out Chatting with Carnivores. The podcast is amazing. It's growing. I know they've got a carnivore documentary coming out. Now, I am a believer in, it may not be right for everybody. Everybody may not be at that place where this is possible. But I want to say something. Nutrition is nutrition. How your body, what happens between your mouth and your cells is what we need to be nourished and fueled and built. So you can argue which way is better, but your body knows what it needs. And when you give it what it needs, it will respond. And, I wish everybody the best of luck. Any decision that you make to better your health is an exploration. And once you let go of, all the dogma, and one little gateway opens up where all of a sudden you discover that the way we've been taught, told, programmed even, might not be right. And what's right for you, you may have to do some work. So beef, butter, bacon, and eggs for me is a way for me to reconnect with myself, to get back to basics, to understand why I'm doing this, what I'm doing, and is it right? I don't know. Give it a try. there's some nuance there. I might from a standard diet right into, you know, protein and fat. There's some disruption. If you look online to some of the people that have tried the carnivore, that have jumped 2 feet in from zero to hero, they go through a little bit of a learning, some growing pains and a learning curve. But that's why I'm doing this. I urge you to find your truth, to find your way. Is it wrong? We don't know. We can't study you. So my N of 1 is basically, I feel great every day. I can't wait to wake up. I'm alive, and this has never happened throughout my life. Now that I'm in my late 40s, I'm feeling like a kid again. This is amazing. Leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how, if you've ever tried beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, or if you're even interested to get there. I want to say thanks to JT, chatting with carnivores. Stay strong.